And let's see if we can get in there. In the air. Oh, it's so good to have the Tutor back up in the air.
Flight lost. 2 minutes.
Nice, nice. Okay, we're about ready. Uh-oh. And we had another mishap. But, so we lost the... What is going on? This is Altone, and today I wanted to share with you a couple of my flights. I've done 7 official flights with the Tutor now and some upgrades. And you'll actually notice that my hatch is missing, and that's because it actually fell off in flight after doing a maneuver, and you might see that in the video. And I was not able to retrieve it. So it's not a problem. I actually have the full-size plans for the Tutor, so I'm going to build another hatch, which is going to be great. I've got plenty of foam to be able to do that, so I'm building another hatch for it. Also, my Velcro that I had on the bottom here pulled the paint off for my Insta360 Go 2. So I'm going to put another piece down here. Now, a couple of the upgrades that I made was, of course, I did put the lights on. Now, the lights themselves are really easy to install. I was asked by one of my awesome viewers how I actually put those lights on and actually set it up in my radio. So it was very easy. The lights can be controlled by the module that comes with the lights themselves. It's attached to the lights themselves. But you can very easily go in, and I have it actually connected to channel 5 on my receiver, and then I set up channel 5 in my radio so that I could actually control it from my momentary switch.
Lights on.
And I just added that sound. But the lights are on automatically when you first put the battery in, and then you can change or cycle through the different modes by flipping my momentary switch up, which is my SH switch. So all I had to do to set that up was to go into my model setup and page over to inputs, and I actually created an input and called it LEDs and assigned it to the SH switch. Now, a couple of these steps you might not need to do, but I did all of them just to make sure that everything was going to be working fine. Then you page over to mixes. I actually added a lights mix on the channel 5 as well. Didn't make any adjustments to that mix, just assigned, I made sure that it recognized that SH switch was assigned. And then I also went to my outputs and made sure channel 5 shows as lights as well, assigned to that SH switch. And from there, I can see it actually changed from 100 positive 100 to negative 100. So that worked out great. Now to get the lights to turn off completely, if you want to turn them off, all you have to do is hold the switch in the on position for a couple of seconds and release it, and it turns the lights off. Once the lights go off, you can release it. Then if you want to toggle through the modes that these particular lights have, you can just tap your momentary switch. I wanted to use a momentary switch because if you use any of your 3 position switches, you have to basically flip all the way up and all the way back, or you can flip it back and forth in order to do what it is that you want to do. But I just thought the momentary is better because that's exactly the way the light system is designed to work. You'll notice on my controller I have it labeled as flip. The reason why I have it labeled as flip is because that is also the switch that I use to flip my FPV drones if they land upside down or crash and land upside down. I use that to flip them over, not what I have labeled as mode. That is my flight modes on my aircraft and also on my drones. I use the same switch. My arm switch, so I just use this for all of my drones as well as my aircraft to make sure that safely make sure that my motor's turned off. Now, a couple of other things that I actually did to this plane was that I had to replace the motor and the ESC. It seems that my ESC which was a 30 amp ESC that came with the kit, actually burned out and also took my motor with it. So the motor wasn't working, so I went ahead and got this is a Sunny Sky motor that is a little bit more powerful. Should be able to handle rotating this prop a little bit better. Still a 30 amp ESC, and that seemed to work out great. My servos were fine, everything else was fine, all of my electronics other than that was fine. All I needed to do was change out the ESC and the motor, and I was able to do so pretty inexpensively. And one of the other upgrades that I did to this plane, which is to me is absolutely fantastic, is the tail of the Tutor was actually dragging, and that drives me nuts. When I was trying to adjust the rudder when it was on the ground from a takeoff, the rudder was actually dragging on the ground. So I could trim the rudder up if I wanted to, but because it's foam, I wanted to keep that full foam control surface. So all I did was I created it's not controlled or anything, I just created a tail wheel. I actually designed this and 3D printed this piece for the tail wheel, and also designed and printed the actual wheel on the back, and then bent some wire and put my wheel nuts on there, and that works great. So I'm going to try to make, in case you have a small 3D printer like I do, make sure you check the links down in the description, because I'll make sure that I link this design, so if you want to print it out, you can print it out. I designed this one myself. If you want to print it, you are welcome to, and use it for your Tutor at no cost. The only thing I ask for you not to do is not to sell my design. It's my design, don't sell it. But you're more than welcome to use it, print it out, use it, and share it with anyone you want to. One of the other things that I noticed, and I'm going to have to see what I can do about that, is this landing gear wire to me is kind of weak, and the landing gear itself is pretty weak because I had a couple of somewhat hard landings. I'm probably going to pull out my landing gear on here, try to reinforce it a little bit, tighten it up so it's in there a little bit better and it's not wobbly like this anymore. And then I thought about going back here. So back here you have a space that you can carve out and use that for if you want to put floats on the Tutor. I'm probably going to spend a lot of time rebuilding and rebuilding this plane, because now I have the plans for it and everything. This is probably going to be my primary, because I think it's a great plane to train with and teach people on. And so I'm probably going to spend a lot of time rebuilding different versions of models of this plane and making my own personal modifications to it. But like I said, if you get the float set, which I'm thinking about doing, is cutting open the section back here for the floats and actually attaching and reinforcing my landing gear a little bit. I'd like to put a spring between them this way so that they don't bow out too much when it hits the ground, but it still has that bounce, and also put some reinforcement this way because there's a couple of times that my landing gear seemed to just fold flat, and I don't even know how it had space inside the fuselage to do that, but it somehow folded flat. This, if you look on the side here, I actually have a spot here where this landing gear actually hit the side of the fuselage. It's made out of foam. What can you expect? You're going to get damage. It's going to get beat up. And I did have a little minor mishap, and it curled down the tip end of my wing, so I had to bend that back kind of straight there. A little bit, I've got some little creasing going on here and there, but I had so much fun flying this. I hope that you enjoy what I'm doing here. And if you're still watching, this is my little shameless plug. This video is sponsored by me. And part of the reason why I'm not as regular with creating content here on this channel is because I am doing a lot of other things that in order to generate income for my family. This is my hobby, and I'm building a business around it and sharing products and stuff with you. So I have a lot of affiliate links down in the description, not just for hobby products, but also home products and things of that nature. I'm an Amazon influencer, so I do have down in the description my Amazon influencer account. I also have my Linktree account where I try to provide information for different products that might be on deal. So please do go down and check out as many of the links that you see down in the description as you possibly can, and help me out so that I can keep doing stuff like this, because this is something I'm really passionate about. My desire is really to help others like myself that are beginners in drones and RC planes and all of that really get into the hobby and enjoy it, and provide you with information that's going to allow you to be able to do that. And in order to do that, I have to be able to pay the bills. So I do ask that you would just help me out a little bit and make sure that you go down and check out some of the links and use some of those links. Please do that for me. I really appreciate you. Have an absolutely fantastic day. I'm planning on putting out more content in the coming week. Thank you again so much for stopping by, and I look forward to seeing you again in a future video.